Now, earlier this week, I spoke with a woman who knows more about the voting process than most of us do. Mary Wilson is the president of the League of Women Voters of America, and she sat down with me to discuss this very important issue. So just how important is the young vote in this upcoming election? And will there be a huge turnout like the kids we just talked to said there will be? Well, for insight into that, we're joined by Mary Wilson, the president of the League of Women Voters of the United States. It's so nice to have you in our studios.
It's very nice to be here.
First of all, the League's mission, the whole mission all year round, is to really inform voters so that when they go to the polls, they know what they're doing.
For the past 88 years, the League of Women Voters has been doing exactly that, giving non-biased, nonpartisan information to voters.
So knowing that, I know you do a lot of research, a lot of studies. You look at voter trends. You know, our special tonight is all about 18 to 24-year-olds who, again and again, are the most apathetic. Do you feel that that'll be the case in this election in November?
Well, we're very encouraged about that age group because in the primaries we saw a very large, in some states double and triple the number of people, young people 18 to 29, turning out to vote in the primaries. And this has actually been a trend, a little known trend, I think, for the last two elections, the 2004 election and the midterm 2006 election. That number of young voters was going up.
Do you attribute that to anything specific, the parties getting involved, the issues, the economy? What do you attribute that to?
It's probably a lot of factors, but I actually think that the advance in technology, the internet, and the way that more and more candidates are developing websites, more and more organizations like the League of Women Voters is providing online information. And we know that that's where young people are getting their news from. They're not reading the newspapers as much as they used to, and they are getting their information online in general, and it only stands to reason that they would get their election and voter-related information online.
Speaking of online, you're just recently launching, and in a nationwide campaign, your own online website, and I love, it's 411, the number is 411.org, right?
Vote 411.
Vote411.org, which is like vote information. Perfect.
Exactly. And it's one of those things you don't have to remember a long series of internet address numbers and letters and so forth. Vote411.org is a one-stop shop for voter information for people all across the country, not just here in Florida, but anywhere across the country. People can plug in to vote411.org and look at what's going on in their state. They can get information to get registered if the registration deadline has not yet occurred in their particular location. As they get closer to election, they can go online to get candidate-specific information. And here in Florida, they can get information about the constitutional amendments, pro and con. And that's important because we're expecting a large turnout at the November 4th election. And the more people do to educate themselves ahead of time, especially about those long constitutional amendments, the more prepared they'll be when they go in to that voting booth on election day.
Let's talk about turnout. I mean, you mentioned we expect the young turnout to be, huge. Obviously, all predictions are because of the presidential election. There's going to be numbers and numbers of people, first-time voters, a lot of them, not just young people, but older people that are now interested in the election. What can voters do, whether young or old, to make sure, because in Palm Beach County, we're likely to have long lines. How can I, exercise my right to vote without getting frustrated and waiting in 2- and 3-hour lines?
Mm-hmm. Well, there are a number of things that they can do. Obviously, absentee voting, no excuse is required for absentee voting. That's available in Palm Beach County because of recent problems that there have been in the primary election. The League of Women Voters is not necessarily advocating that a large number of people go that absentee ballot route. We want to make sure that people's vote actually counts. And so if you're homebound and you need to vote absentee, do that. Actually ask for your absentee ballot now, but wait to vote it until closer to election day. because we want voters to be informed voters. When they go into that polling place and that voting booth, they need to have the last information that's available. Things do happen in that last week before the election. So get their voter registration, get their absentee ballots now, hold them and vote them and turn them in right before the election. Early voting is also available here. That's an option. We're hoping to increase the number of early voting sites around Palm Beach County this time. It is a way that people can go to a location close to where they work, more convenient than having to wait and vote at the precinct where you live. So that will start on October the 20th, and people can take advantage of that early voting. But there's nothing to beat that experience of actually voting on election day.
That is true. I mean, it's just the excitement of the actual day.
And especially for first-time voters or the young people, I think that the flavor of going to their actual polling place on election day will make them lifelong voters, because they will find that gives them a great deal of energy to be there where it's happening, where other people are casting their ballots. As they're standing in line, I encourage them to make use of that time to talk to the people around them. It's a good opportunity to get to know people in their communities, get to know what other people are thinking about the election, and just get to know people in general. So it's a good experience for young voters.
Absolutely. We thank you so much. And again, we'll remind people it's vote411.org. Log on, get all the information, be an educated voter. Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you.